welcome. It is UK Cowboys TV Season 1, Episode 34. I'm your host for this pre-game show for the Rams, Mike Poland. I'm joined by my fellow Celt, my Celtic Cowboy, Paul Stewart, and of course our honorary Celt. He may as well live in Scotland all the way up in Leeds. It's Jamie. You guys all right?
I'm on my way. Yeah, mate, you? Looks like we've all got the same idea tonight.
Yeah.
Friday night,
so we're all on the beer.
And the butt fast.
Oh, Jesus. Now, that stuff does get you wrecked fast, too.
Well, there's a saying, but I'm not going to mention it on this because for good reason.
Well, we're here today to talk about the Rams, and I'm not talking about risk assessment and method statements. I'm talking about the LA Rams. So the Cowboys have got them this weekend. They're kicking off on Sunday at 9:25. Now, there's a few injuries that have come out this week. We'll quickly go over them. You tell me which ones scare you the most, right, guys? So we know Leighton Van Der Esch, he's out. That's him done. I don't think we're going to see him for the rest of the season by the sounds of it. That neck injury is going to probably shut him down for the year. One that's popped up randomly this week is our punter, Chris Jones. He's popped up. We've got Byron Jones, who's come up as well. Then we've got three: Michael Bennett, Lyle Collins, and Zach Martin. They're pretty much always popping up on the injury report and play through injury. So I think that's going to be fine. Aaron Woods has been limited. One who hasn't participated all week is Sean Lee. I'm wondering whether that's just rest period, though. But out of Van Der Esch, Chris Jones, Byron Jones, Sean Lee, Antoine Woods, any of those guys, and I'll start with you, Jamie, any of them scare you the most about not playing this weekend?
Like I say, with you saying about Van Der Esch, you think it could keep him out of the year. I'll take him out of the mix, but I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm going to go. In fact, I'm going to go Chris Jones. The guy is a bit like LP, and he's really consistent when his back's against the wall. You can always count on him to put a deep one in and give the defense some good field position. So yeah, I'm going to go with Jones this week.
Yeah, and of course, no team carries a backup punter. So yeah, I agree with you there. Same with you, Paul, or have you got a different one out that list that scares you about not playing this weekend?
I can't argue with Chris Jones, but I'm kind of concerned if Michael Bennett doesn't play. He has kind of helped elevated personally for me, from what I've seen, he's kind of helped elevated the defensive line a little bit, like basically giving a kick up the butt, pretty much, which has kind of been needed all season. So, but more so Chris Jones, absolutely.
Yeah. I think Michael Bennett, to be honest with you, is going to be. He's limited, but it's the same as a couple of the other players. They come up on the injury report, but it's more rest and recuperation more than anything, through injuries. But looking at the Cowboys offense, I'll stick with you, Paul. What for you is the most critical thing for success on the Cowboys offense against the Rams?
Stopping their defensive line.
Yeah.
That's
line, yeah.
They the power of their defensive line is just ridiculous. Aaron Donald just on his own. It's going to be really up to Travis, Zach, and everybody else to really stop him from penetrating that through the gaps. So he can try and run the ball if we can, because we know that I'm pretty sure the Rams are quite high up in that run defense. I'm pretty sure.
I'd have to go back. I did have those stats.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they're quite high up there in terms of in the NFL. But if we can somehow just slow down their defensive line, put the less pressure off Dak, gives more Zeke more option to run what gaps, whatever not, then I think we could have a good potential shot to win this save.
On that one, just so you know, the Rams defense is 12th versus the rush. They allow 104 rush yards per game.
Well, when you break it down like that, it's actually kind of it's definitely doable then.
Not bad. Yeah, I mean, it's still good. I mean, when you look at it more than anything, it's their tackle for losses. They get to the backfield a lot. So it's a sort of a boom or bust approach.
Yeah, it's more the penetration through the offensive line that I'm more worried about.
Yeah. Especially with the way the offensive line have been playing of late. I mean, you can say, mind you, I mean, Zach Martin's been great. Lyell's been probably the best this year.
Yeah.
And then although Tyrone Smith, you can say he's had a down year, still not bad. But yeah, I mean, it seems to be breaking down more often than not. Is when things go wrong. But for you, Jamie, what's the key to success for the Cowboys offense?
I'm going to kind of side with Paul here and say the run. Sorry, not the run. The offensive line. Yeah. If we can't get any pressure and we can't keep Dak upright, give him enough time, open some holes for Zeke. That we all know what that defense is like. They're just going to shut us down, and it's going to be another horror show for us. So yeah, I'm going to go with the O-line this week.
Just something else to add on as well. It's like we need to be very aware of the blitzes as well. That's one because their linebacker core is quite legit. They're very legit as well. But there's been times where they have been inconsistent. So hopefully this could be the game for us so that we can actually put a right mark on them. So we just need to be aware, watching out the blitzes, especially through the inside run as well.
I mean, the defense has had a game where a team has put a 40 burger on them this year. So it is doable.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. So on offense then for the Cowboys, what player are we looking out for? I'll go with you, Jay. Is there a player you're looking out for in this game for success? The key playmaker, if you like.
I know I said O-line, so I'll come away from that in terms of, because I mean, not that they haven't got a lot to do, but I mean it's pretty simple what they've got to do. I mean they've got to stop that pressure coming in. So I'm going to say Zeke. Just we need to get that run going. But he's got to. I mean, potentially two of the top three running backs are going to be playing in this game.
Yeah.
If we can't establish the run, then I think we're going to struggle. So yeah, I think we need a big game off Zeke this week.
Yeah, I can't help but agree there. Yep.
Yeah. Okay then. So in terms of the Rams defense, what are they looking to do in order to disrupt that Cowboys offense then, Jay?
You could name a lot of people, but I think the one that sticks out is Aaron Donald, and he is one nasty mofo. He is, without doubt, the best defensive lineman in this league by a million miles. Mm-hmm. And we've said it on previous shows, on this one and on the post-game show. He's the kind of player that our defense has desperately needed this year. We have not got a run stuffer that is as destructive as Aaron Donald. If we let him get into his groove, we are screwed.
Yeah.
It's so weird though. It's like Aaron Donald is not exactly the typical defensive tackle. He's actually really, for a guy his size, he's really lean.
Yeah.
He's actually probably, I would say he's probably a bit he's taller than Antoine Woods, but he's a lot more leaner, a lot more muscle mass. But he's just an athletic freak, and it just comes to show us that it's not all about being the biggest guy. Like for example, Vince Wilfork, who used to play for the Patriots and stuff like that. Like, even though he was a force, but everyone said, "Oh, the nose tackle position is pretty much for that particular body type." No, it's not. If you can get into any gap whatsoever, that's like so. But Jamie's right. He is probably, without a doubt, hands down best defensive lineman in the NFL right now, and we need to make sure he is stopped.
Yeah. One thing that I like about his game as well. Probably going to be a bit of a poor kind of example, but. It's one of the wingers that play. I know it's a different sport. One of the wingers that plays for Leeds United, Alioski, he has got a motor that he runs at the exact same pace. He goes on and he goes on from minute 1 to the 90th minute, and that's what Aaron Donald's like. He plays on the last play of the game like he does on the first snap. It's unreal. The guy is amazing to watch.
He's not an engine. He's determined to be on the field. He wants to win. That's what more do you want from a player?
Yeah. And I mean, like, you look at it as well. He's an intelligent player to go with it, you know, because he knows when to mix it up, when to change, when to start a step, you know, and when to shoot his hands. And it's just, you know, and like you were saying, that it's surprising that you think for a defensive tackle who's so disruptive, how lean he is. You know, he's not that chunky, overweight mass, you know, the immovable object.
Yeah.
It's almost baffling when you look at it that he can play that position at the size he's at so well. But going on to the other side of the field, the Cowboys defense. Now, as of late, the Rams offense seems to be clicking, unfortunately. It always seems to be the way with it. When they come to play the Cowboys, team seem to get on form. And Sean McVay even came out in his last press conference and they asked him about, playing Todd Gurley, and he came straight out up and said, yeah, you know, it's my bad. We should have played him from the start. And a lot of people were like, yeah. So we started doing that, and they're getting the results. So in terms of the Cowboys defense, Paul, what are we looking to do? What's needed to disrupt this Rams offense, this clicking at the moment?
Do the opposite of what we're trying to do to the Rams defensive line.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it's like our D line needs to step up. Like, there's no shadow of doubt about it. Especially down in the nose tackle positions. Like, we've literally caused very next to little pressure throughout the whole season when you kind of break it down.
Yeah.
I still expect, like, Robert Quinn to have a good game. He's been, without a doubt, our best player in our D line. Like, hands down, like, he's been the one that's been causing a lot more disruptive, forcing the QB to make some mistakes, and just to double check as well, he's our sack leader as well, isn't he? In terms of the D-line.
Robert Quinn is, yeah.
So, but and on top of that, I think our linebackers, because obviously we don't know the situation if Sean Lee's going to be playing. But this is a chance for the backups to make a statement. So they need to step it up and be the next man up and help Jalen out as much as they can. When it comes to coverage, or depending on what type of play it is, if we're running a blitz, they need to ensure they do their job pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you know, talking of the sacks that you were just saying there with Robert Quinn being our sack leader. I mean, just to put it in perspective of how things are. So Aaron Donald, as we were just saying, he's the Rams sack leader. Tied into that, he's on 11 sacks. Tied in with that, Dante Fowler's on 9 sacks. Clay Matthews, who used to play for the Packers, he's on 8 sacks. Bear in mind, these guys have all got, 21, 15, and 10 tackle for losses. As opposed to the Cowboys defense, our sack leader is, as you say, Robert Quinn, who's on 9 sacks. There's Michael Bennett with 4. Demarcus Lawrence is on 5.
Just even from the sack numbers, just comes to show the difference between the production that's been is happening right now. So we know we're not doing as good as we want to be. We do have good players, but it's kind of like saying that about the offense. It's like we've got the players, but we're just not seem to kind of winning it over all the time. But
it just, I mean, if you just look at you compare their sacks and tackle for losses with ours, they're just miles ahead on.
It's quite steady.
Yes,
and this is why that like, I know I'm jumping back to offense, but this is why the offensive line really need to punch their face in pretty much. They really.
It's a shame as well that and I act on it the first few weeks, and I know sometimes he gets double covered and he's up against some of the best players in that position, but 5 sacks from D-Law. He got a ton of money, and I'm sure he's pissed himself that he hasn't been more productive. It's just why has he gone from last year?
Well, he's actually came out and said, it's like, I'm really sorry, Cowboys Nation. It's like, I know I've not been playing great as much, but I totally understand, like, when you are getting double teamed like that, you're expecting to have lesser production. But if he's getting double teamed, like, from a defensive, like, because obviously I used to play, but if you're getting double teamed, you're obviously being targeted because they know that's your strongest player. If they can nullify him, but it should open up the other doors for the other guys on the inside, and they are not stepping up. So it just comes to show it's like now, and obviously as week by week goes, whoever the next team you're going to be playing against, they've got the scout footage of that particular game. They can actually say, oh, such and such, when he gets double teamed, they're not hitting their gaps as well. So if we can do that, it would make our offense produce more. So.
And that is the trouble. Remarkably, though, is people are saying about Tank, he's not having that bad of a year.
No, he's not. It's not at all.
It's not that bad, I know his sack numbers are down, but he's on 12 tackle for losses, 2 forced fumbles. But the most mental part about it, bear in mind this is a defensive end, he's on 41 tackles for the year. I should be more of a defensive tackles start. yeah. It just reiterates more to your point, really, of what they're doing. That this is a guy who is getting double teamed, and more than anything, that's what's leading to Robert Quinn's success. But what's not happening is the support staff next to that isn't taking up the slack. Because, you've got to look, I forget which game it was. When people say that Tank's having a bad year, I forget which game, and they were on the goal line, and he literally leapt from, like, the right-hand side of the line, right the way across to stop a run that was coming over on the left.
I'm pretty sure it was the Packers.
It might have been. And it's just like, how does a guy get over there that quickly? It was impossible. But, It's an awkward one with Tank because at the end of the day, as a pass rusher, the only stat that people care about, and the only stat that's going to get you to the Pro Bowl, which we'll talk about in a bit, is the sacks. That's all people care about, and that's the only one that matters. But for you, Jay, in terms of the Cowboys' defense, what stands out to you that they need to do to slow the Rams' offense down?
I think probably first and foremost is obviously he's stopping Gurley. We all know what he's like. But I think second to that, I want to see that the linebackers, and I want to see the secondary play like they've got a rocket up their ass, because they just they just seem lethargic at times, and they make a good jump on a play, and then all of a sudden it's like they have a brain fart and they go, "What do I do next?" And then you'll see the player just kind of step outside and go off, or they'll just completely fudge the tackle and they get another 4, 5, 6 yards out of it. And it's just like, if you're going to get there, just hit him.
Yeah. Jamie, do you know feel like there's been moments like over the course of the season with the cornerbacks and the safety, it's just been, it's like certain moments, it's pure magic and that's it. Yeah. Well, it's been maybe 1 or 2 moments a game. It's been, that was brilliant, what a play. And other than that, it's been very, very, very flat.
Yeah.
Like that's how I'm kind of feeling like what's kind of happened. It's just like it needs to be. It's consistency at the end of the day.
Yeah. I said it a few weeks ago. I was saying that at the time that this secondary wasn't getting enough praise, because they were making some big plays in games, and it was probably interceptions that would help get them recognised more. But then all of a sudden, it's just like that back end is just gone flat. And do you know what I mean? I mentioned that it's a bit disappointing that Tank hasn't got more sacks than he's got, but then there's only so much that front line can do. And if they're getting there and say forcing Gurley out to the right, you need one of them linebackers, or you need that cornerback to come down, or the safety to come down and and stop it. I mean, they've done their bit, and it doesn't seem clicking when it's maybe in there. So maybe in the back half where the defensive backs kind of will cover what they need to cover. You might see it there, but it's not clicking how it should be, and they're not all kind of on sync. Is that probably a better way to put it?
Yeah, it seems like it's a weird way, like they're getting stage fright at a game. I don't understand. Like, I mean, like you said, Jamie, it's like there's moments of just pure sheer magic, and it's been really, really flat. And I don't know if it's like the mentality of during training, it's all good and great what Underl for and stuff like that. We don't know. We don't see the training footage and that. But when it comes to game time, it's like they just kind of remember, we're our record is this. Oh, it's like I don't know. I don't know if that's going to play with the mental part of how they play. We don't know, but I don't know if that. It just seems like there's been times where everything kind of goes out the window a little bit. So, yeah, but that may be kind of digging a little bit too deep there, but it's just there is a problem somewhere.
Yeah, one of the criticisms that's actually come out, something that popped up actually while you're talking about that was a question that was asked was, are they overtraining in practice? So then when they get to the game, they're already exhausted.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. Like,
yeah.
Like even in training, you're like when I played, we used to play it used to train every Tuesday night and a Thursday night. And honestly, by the time I go to the game on a Sunday, I'm already like just like all bruised up and that, and I expected to play at like an hour game spread out, of course, of 2.5 hours, maybe even 3 hours, like, and go back training on the Tuesday where I feel absolutely crippled. Like I can't even get a 2 points, a 2 point stance. Like, so I completely understand, but I don't know. It could be that. It could be the way how they're training. We don't know. And this keeps going. Sorry guys, I keep getting bloody messages.
Maybe don't have to throw another bit out there. Could it just be that played this scheme for so long that it's just not working? Not this. Yeah. That it's like everything in it. You play in a certain way for so long, teams find you out and find a better way to beat you. And is it getting that way? I don't know.
So you're talking about predictability then, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, because one of the things I was saying before, that popped into my mind was, with the defense, do you think that it's scheme or execution?
More execution, I would say. I would say it's more execution.
Yeah. So then, really, go on. Sorry.
The reason I'm saying that is because that does play a factor when it comes to training. Like, and I was going to use the word lethargic.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going, you could be feeling like you've done the studying, you've read the playbook, you've done the scouting and that, but when it comes to the game time, it's like your body's actually like just feeling absolutely shut down. Like that could be one of the reasons why we're so flat. It's like we've overdone it.
Yeah.
Especially with the pressure that we're on right now, especially Jason Garrett, he's on so much pressure right now to try and turn this around right now. So
I mean, the reason I'm saying, do you think it's scheme or execution, is then if it's actually, do you agree it's execution, Jamie?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, and I know I mentioned it just then, saying could it be that scheme, and it's they've played under this scheme for so long now that, and last year, and just go back to last year. Last year was an immense year. That the defense was really good last year, and it's just they're just not doing it this year. And so that's what makes me think, excuse me, that it's more execution this year. It's just, I mean, how a team can go from being so high in the rankings in the NFL, and to be fair, I don't think unless I'm wrong, we didn't really lose too much off the defense in terms of top quality players. So it's just it's wise of us to come that far down that quick.
Like that's the funny thing that you mentioned. Like obviously there's the big boo-boo against the Jets, but the games that we've lost, we've never actually been beaten by over 20 plus points. Like it's been very small marginal. I'm pretty sure. Like it has been close games at certain points. Like we've tried to come back, but never made it. Like what's the saying? So close, but yet no cigar. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, but obviously the Jets one was embarrassing. But in terms of our defense and stuff like that, it's like we've tried our best to hold it up. But I don't know, man.
I would say
somebody did say it the other week on Twitter. I can't remember the name. But if you actually look at the games as well, and not taking away from the teams what they did to us, they came and got a result. At the end of the day, that's what you do. But if you actually look at all the games that we've lost this year, teams haven't come and beaten us, so to speak. We've beaten ourselves. We've knocked up to the game.
That's what I was trying to make. That's exactly what I was trying to make. It's like
we've beaten ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Like because we keep saying it ourselves. It's like we've got the players to do it, but they're just literally beating themselves up. You just nailed the coffin there, Jamie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as I'm going back to with the scheme and the execution, if you're saying then the execution is the problem, right? Then does that mean that our defense, the players we've got, aren't that good then?
There is a depth issue, definitely.
Like obviously we've got key players, we've got star players like we've got Jalen Smith, Robert Quinn, DeMarcus Lawrence. They're all fine, yeah. But what I'm saying is, if we look generally at the defense, if execution is the problem, is the Cowboys' defense then not that good as we were told or we were made to believe?
It's a really tough one to say there, Mike. I mean. And I know Lauren is going to boot my balls for saying this, but Sean Lee isn't getting any faster. I'll love Sean Lee, and obviously he's picking up injuries. Like it's nothing more I want Sean Lee to get is get him a Super Bowl along with Jason Witten and stuff like that. But there has been times he has been outpaced in some games, and I'm just like, if that was someone else, they could have maybe catched on and made that tackle, but it kind of going back to what you're saying, like there's certain key areas that we need to improve on. Absolutely,
yeah.
Like we do have our key players, but we know roughly and what we need to improve on, and there's certain areas we definitely need to kind of look to in the off season next year where we can strengthen the squad up.
I'll throw maybe another one in there. It's probably going to be the example I'm going to use is probably going to be a little bit poor, but you'll probably get where I'm coming from. I don't think it's that they're not going to. I think the recruitment's been goddamn awful on that side of the ball. Just in terms of if you've got someone say like a DeMarcus Lawrence on there, and he knows that the level of player kind of underneath him who is his backup. He isn't going to push him as much, so when he gets his snaps, he's going to sit there and think, you know what, shit, this guy's come onto the field. He's come on, he's played 4 snaps and he's got 2 sacks kind of thing. Maybe the level drops because they know they're not going to get pushed from underneath, so they don't have to raise their game. So I'm going to say, and then we touched on it earlier, this defense has struggled for years and years without a run stuffer. Now, you took someone in the middle there to be that run stuffer who isn't really cut out to play that position. Although he'll be a good inside guy, you're not going to get that production there. So I'm going to throw him. I'm going to throw in recruitment as well on that side.
Yeah.
And sorry, Mike, but that's the weirdest thing. It's like our strongest point over the past 5 drafts has been our recruitment. When Clay's done a fantastic job bringing the right players in, but obviously I think Tristan Hill's obviously like, what's actually going to happen with him? Are we going to keep him, or is he going to get any game time? What is he doing? Like, we just don't know. Like, we're not heard a peep from like Taylor and like Dave Hellman and stuff like that. Like, is he injured? Is he just like, there's nothing? We're literally hearing nothing. And
Brian, sorry, mate. Go on, buddy. Sorry, mate.
I was going to say, like, on that terms with Tristan Hill, I get that. Yeah. Actually, because the position he plays, I mean, you've got to remember, he's a 21-year-old kid, you know, and he's playing college game, and then he's playing with fully grown men. So, and the position, we were just speaking about it, you know, like with Aaron Donald, who's classed as, you know, a smaller defensive tackle, but he still had to build up to it. That at the end of the day, a guy like Tristan Hill, he's got to, he'd be doing it now, you know, he's going to be building that mass.
It could be, yeah.
You know, I'm not that concerned. Yeah. I'm not that concerned with Tristan Hill. Maybe if we're talking about this in 2 years' time, so it's his third year in the NFL, and he's not producing, I'm going to take for a bit.
Like prime example, tackle. Prime example.
Yeah, exactly the same. Exactly. But you know, if they need to, when you're playing a big position, when you're playing the trenches, you need a big frame, you need to have a lot of mass on there, and these kids that come in, very rare. Do you know what I mean? Do you see like Ed Oliver, you know, he had a quiet,
man.
Do you know what I mean? He had a quiet, he's building up now though, because he's having more time, he's building that up, and he's building himself, and then you'll just see that progression. So that's why, like, when people, because Brian was mentioning it before, saying, you know, like, I'm worried about Tristan. I'm like, don't worry about it, wait until a couple of years, let things build up, and then we'll get there, you know.
It's probably just me, because I'm just like, I just want us to win.
I know,
you know, it's end of the day, we all want to win, but
I think on top of that, we're being spoiled, aren't we? If you look at, like you say, Will McClay's done a mint job. Whereas if you kind of look back through kind of some of the drafts, you've got Connor Williams stepped in and played really well. Leighton Van Der Esch has come in and he's played at a high level. Jalen Smith, although he didn't play the first year, his first official year on the field, he played at a high level. And then you kind of look at the draft class from this year, and it's kind of stood, and you could probably say, say Tristan Hill's a little bit, but then there's only really Pollard that's kind of really shone out of this draft class.
It's funny that you mention that, Jamie. It's like we're just so used to having really made good decisions when it comes to draft picks, and this year's kind of, we had so much higher expectations, but it's nothing's kind of been impactful as we expect it to be.
Yeah,
but it's like you said though, Mike. It's like you said. It's like it was the same with DeMarcus Lawrence. It took him a couple of years to
Here's a good example. Tank, right? DeMarcus Lawrence. He was almost cut from the roster.
That's right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, I always look at it. I always give it the 3-year mark. Strike 3 is always for me. The third year, I need to see it. If it's not there, you're gone.
Yeah.
And so, but ironically, talking about the draft, I mean, obviously, once we get to the postseason, we'll be talking about that. One of the things that you've got to also realize, I know you guys do, but we'll talk about it anyway, is one of the issues with Will McClay being so good at his job is we end up in these dilemmas where we have to pay the big bucks. That, you know, these players, they go through their rookie contract, they're so good, as they have been, and then you've got to pay big money. So people are like, oh, yeah, but we're going to have to pay Dak this amount. You know, you've got to pay Zeke that amount. And it's like, that is a product of good drafting.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Exactly. Like, do you imagine if we did draft Paxton Lynch? What?
I know, that almost happened.
Exactly. Like he's now without a team. He got cut from the Broncos and now Seattle. So it just comes to show, like, not being a first round draft pick comes to show it's not always what it seems. Like Johnny Manziel, perfect example.
Yeah.
Like
look at last year. People slagged him for taking Van Der Esch, and tell you what, great pick.
I'll be honest. I was really astonished that we picked a linebacker that year, but I'm so glad we did.
Here's one for you. the bigger shock of the Will McClay drafting era when he took Zach Martin.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
I remember I was sitting up, I was waiting for it. I'm thinking, yes, here we go. And they call him up, and I was like, what the hell? I was trying to flick through my notes to see who this guy was.
Yeah, and then actually, if you want to flip it back a little bit more, look at Travis Frederick. The guy was predicted a third rounder.
And we were talking about it. And what's his name? He's now the GM for the Raiders now. And Mike Maynock, he's like, well, I've got the Johnny Manziel falling down to the Dallas Cowboys. I was like, surely not. I was like, and we were 16th overall. I'm like, is this going to be Johnny Manziel? And I was like, oh God. And we mentioned Travis Federer. I was like, you know what? I'm really happy about that. A centre. Like, I didn't know who, at the time, I didn't know who was Travis, but I was like, well, if they think he's a really good bloody centre to protect Romo, I'm all up for it. And that's another thing. Tony, this is probably obviously well before Will McClay, but Tony Romo, undrafted.
Yeah.
Just comes to show it's so diverse.
Yeah. I've said it all along, and I know a lot of you guys and Lauren and Brian and everybody have said the same. And I'll bang on the drum, and I'll keep banging on the drum. Will McClay should be this team's GM, without a doubt. The guy is a magician.
Yes.
He is years overdue that role, and it's because Jerry can't let go.
No,
we will end up losing Will McClay because Jerry can't get off his high horse.
I don't think we'll lose Will McClay because he's earning too much money, and he's got some like really.
He's very cushy, that's for sure. He's very cushy.
He's got a very weird job title. Basically puts him as a GM, but without the title in. But funnily enough, you say that. I mean, I don't know if you've seen Troy Aikman's quotes this week, and basically it was a popper at Jerry saying that, look, if you want your team to truly win, you need to let go. You need to give somebody the job, give somebody the role, and let them go with it.
It's true. He's a great businessman. Mint businessman. Well,
agree.
Absolutely.
Sorry,
absolutely. Sorry, mate. I was just going to say, even give the role to Stephen as well. Stephen, he knows more about football. Like, even his sons at football, he just knows more football in general a bit. Like you said, it's like Jerry's a proper businessman. He knows how to turn nothing, if not less than nothing, into $1 million. Like look at the whole situation. What happened with the whole turmoil with Zeke? Like, he made t-shirts out of it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It just knows how to make money. This is why our franchise is number one valuable in the world. He just knows how to make money, but we just can't seem to get the operation when it comes to the football side right half of the time. But we do have Will McClay. That's the thing.
This team has been irrelevant for 25 years, and I know we kind of had a little conversations between us, but Jerry got rid of the two greatest coaches that this team has ever had, and for some reason, he can't let Garrett go. And it's until he can, like Paul just said, that until he can let go and, like you say, let Stephen take more control than he's already got. Maybe let Will McClay have that GM role. This team is going to continue to have that potential of this team can go and win the NFC East and can go far in the playoffs, but it's going to fall short because Jerry can't let go.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the Cowboys' defense.
I know we kind of went a little bit went haywire there, but
that's fine.
We said it's this Friday night and beer time. We were always going to go off on a tangent.
Yeah, that's it. Cheers, lads. Salute.
Yeah, so that's the Cowboys' defense. But looking at the Rams' offense, I'll start with you, Paul.
Yep.
Who's a playmaker to look for, and how are they going to beat this Cowboys' defense?
It's quite simple. Todd Gurley. Quite simple. Yeah. And I know, and also I will mention Jared Goff as well. He's not the reason I'm saying that is like he is probably the most quiet quarterback that still manages to get the win. Like when you look at it from a statistics point of view, he's not the greatest at all. Like, but he somehow the team still wins. Like he'll throw the wee short passes, run, give it to Gurley, then he'll go for the long yards. Like but that's down to more the coaching. Basically, we just need to out coach the Rams, which is a big ask. From Garrett. But if anything when you're on the field, we need to stop Todd Gurley.
Okay.
Offensively.
Yeah, I mean, bear in mind the last time we played them, they run all over this defense,
and that was without Gurley. That was the backup Jonathan. Was it Jonathan Stewart?
No.
Oh no, what's the other guy? Oh, he used to play for the Panthers.
Yeah, and the Broncos.
Oh, what's his name? Oh God, that's where I did my nut in there.
Wait, Talbot.
No.
That's it. No. It wasn't Talbot. It was oh God.
I know.
No, C.G. Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. C.G. Anderson.
Broncos.
Yeah.
Sorry, it wasn't the Panthers. It was the Broncos.
Yeah,
My apologies.
Yeah. It was on my tongue.
It was like over. It was only over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns or something like that.
Between the pair of them.
Oh God, I
think it was something. Actually, I heard somewhere that against the Cowboys defense, that was the most rushing yards in one game.
Yeah.
It was like between the pair of them was like 240 something yards.
It was ridiculous. It was pretty much the trifecta effect we had with Pollard and Zeke.
Yeah. Okay. For you then, Jamie. Who have you got? Well, who's their playmaker on offense? You might say the same guy, which is fine, but how are they going to beat the Cowboys defense?
And I know, don't want to kind of go over it again, and it's more than likely going to be Gurley, as Paul said. Yeah. I mean, the guy's one of the top 3 running backs in this league. But I think what makes the Rams so good as well, and potentially so dangerous, is they're a little bit like what we've seen glimpses of our offense this year, that if teams shut our run game down, their passing game it thrives. And I think what are they? Yeah. Six overall in average passing yards a game. So I say I think it's more than they've got to shut both down, because if we shut the run down, they're going to go to that passing game, and that passing game, it can be great to watch. So I kind of mirror Paul a little bit, but I'll chuck Goff in there as well.
It was just to kind of add. Sorry, it's just to add on top of it. This is why I'm saying it's so important for our D line to stop just literally everything. Like they're the front 4, like put pressure on Goff, put pressure on hitting the gaps to stop the run. Like our defensive line really need to make a statement in this game.
Yeah, I mean, because like you was going to alluding. Yeah, I agree with Goff. Not with Goff. I don't really rate him as a quarterback. I mean, he's struggling, believe it or not, this year.
I don't rate him that highly. I'm just saying, like, he just somehow picks, like,
gets it done.
He gets it done. If anything, he's a mediocre, and that sounds hard. Like, it sounds harsh for me saying that, but he is. There's nothing special about him.
No, I wonder if.
But he's smart enough to know what plays to run.
Yes.
Like that's the thing. But again, like I said, that goes more down to Sean McVay for making those calls.
Yeah. I wonder if we could take the mick and kind of confuse him at the line of scrimmage a little bit, and just get people like Robert Quinn and D-Law to kind of shout, "Where does the sun rise? Where does the sun rise? Where does?" Because he didn't know, did he? When all the years ago when they were on, he didn't know whether just to throw a stupid one in there.
it makes you kind of wonder what he had in his Wonderlic test, really, doesn't it? But really, I think for Goff, I think his 2 saving graces that help him elevate how people rate him as a quarterback is one is Todd Gurley and the other one is Cooper Kupp. He's tapping on Amari Cooper's heel in terms of yards.
Is Cooper Kupp back fit?
You are sorry?
Is he back? Is he back playing now?
Yeah. The only player who's a non-participant this week is Gerald Everett, who plays tight end.
Everett's a good player. Like, if there's one player in the offense I really think he's really good, it's Gerald Everett. Like, he was a steal for the Rams in that draft.
I'm not sure if he's going to play. He's been a non-participant all week.
Yeah, So in that case, we need to make sure that Kupp is well covered as well, because I wasn't too sure if Kupp was still on the site, like still on injury reserve or whatever. Because I know he missed a fair chunk of games in that, but he's one of them type of players that can just appear out of nowhere and just make that devastating blow. Like, your momentum, like, for that whole quarter or whatever, that, and he can deliver that one, like, Joff can throw that one pass to Cooper Kupp, and Kupp just maybe drive it all the way back to the end zone, and that's it. It will change the whole dynamic of the game. We need to make sure that we don't do that. We cover him.
I love Cooper Kupp. When he came out in the draft, I was kind of hoping a little bit that he would fall to us somewhere and we'd get a nice steal.
I think all of us did, because from back in his college days, man, he was brilliant, man.
Yeah. I haven't got any news on him, so it seems that way. I could be wrong, man. I'll double check on that after the show. But let's go to score predictions. What have you got, Paul, in terms of score for this game?
Oh God, I was kind of hoping you were going to go to Jamie first. No, but I'll go. I think it's going to be a really tightly contested game, just like any other Cowboys game it's been this season. Obviously being a Cowboys fan, I'm going to say 27-24.
In by a field goal. All right. What about you, Jay?
Yes, and that's the difference.
Yeah, like Paul says, I mean, you always look on the price and say it's the Cowboys. They're going to be anybody. My heart says Cowboys by 3, but my head says the Rams by 10.
Okay. And give me a hot take. Go on.
Try Forbath for the win.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So give me a hot take for this game. Something crazy.
Ooh. God, I like that question. I like that question, mate. I like that.
I need to stay off these after coming on here a few weeks ago, and I made a stupid one against the Patriots, so I need to stop this, especially after having a drink.
You're having one as well.
I think there's going to be a player getting sent off in the game.
An ejection?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a ejection in it. Aye. I don't know why. It's just it's something about that particular game where last time where Aaron Donald got a little bit nippy before the O-line. It can cause a little bit of a spark, and I can see tempers getting a little bit flaring, especially what's on the line right now. Just this game could be the deciding factor. How are we going to be first place in the NFC East? Like, this could potentially be one of them games. So I can see someone getting dejected from the game. Whether it's the Cowboys or the Rams, I have no idea. But I've just got a gut feeling about it.
Okay. And Jamie?
The Cowboys are going to score at least 5 touchdowns. 3 of them are going to be split between Dak and Zeke.
All
for
right,
rushing touchdowns, that is. For rushing touchdowns.
I won't get a list off you just now, because we'll talk about this in the post-game show, because we've got a guest on next week for the post-game show. But give me a number, right, of players that you think from the Cowboys roster will make the Pro Bowl. Just a number at this stage. So I'll start with you, Jamie. So you're going to have to think quick. How many players, both offense, defense, special teams, both offense, defense? So all 3, not both, all 3 teams. So special teams, offense, defense. How many players from the Cowboys roster will make the Pro Bowl? 4. Okay, what about you then, Paul?
I'm going for 3. I know exactly.
I know the three. I know the four. Yeah, I like the four.
I've got six.
Well, I'll tell you who I'm going for. Right,
Well,
so Jalen Smith.
Yeah, gotta be.
LP Listo.
Yeah.
Right, for long snapper. Absolutely. And here's the one, Michael Gallup.
Oh, I like it.
See?
I might as well. Just throw mine in there, Paul.
I think he's going to be one of those underrated votes that might just get the push.
Yeah.
But obviously, I would say Amari, but I think Amari is more logical. But I would love to see Michael get it because he's been brilliant for us. So he has.
I think the four out: Dak, Robert Quinn, LP, Chris Jones.
Robert Quinn's ineligible.
Is it? I didn't realise they were ineligible. So three then. I'll go with. I'll drop it. How come he's ineligible?
Because he was suspended for 4 games.
I didn't realise he was ineligible. So they all then 3 then, yeah.
No. See, I got 6.
I'll definitely would add Dak into that equation for what he's done statistically.
I got that.
But you know what the NFL's like? They'll look at someone's records. Like people will vote, like because it's a people's vote. People will vote against Dak because it's the Cowboys, and also it's the Cowboys only like the same stats as same record as Green Bay or what the Patriots or whatever. And that could be it's weird how people think like that. They think about the results more than anything, rather than
that's what makes the football crap.
I definitely would third quarterback.
I definitely would add that. I didn't want to mention him because I feel as though there's other players where it could potentially be underlooked under the radar that definitely would get a push. Like definitely LP. Throughout his whole tenure being with the Dallas Cowboys, he's just been nothing but solid. But solid for special.
That's what makes the Pro Bowl crapper in effect, like you say, because it's a vote, so you could essentially fans vote for favourite players. That's why it was good when they changed it a few years ago when they had Michael Irvin and Jerry Rice captains and let them pick the players. That makes it a bit more interesting.
Yeah, bring that back. But sorry, man, you had other players to mention there. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
It's all right. No, you talk away. That's what we. I got Zeke, Zach Martin, Tyrone Smith, Amari Cooper, Jalen Smith.
Ooh. Yep.
6. Yeah, they might say.
I can't argue with that because Travis, obviously he missed last year because of the illness and that, and Zach's been to every Pro Bowl since he was drafted, so it makes sense. But like I said, it's like the choices I made. It was like something that was kind of like, you know what, I'm going to say something a bit different here.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, giving options.
Absolutely. Give our boys a bit more recognition.
Those big guys in the middle need to be known too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right, but I mean, apart from that, I think we've gassed out the Rams game. Hopefully, we'll be coming back next week with our special guest to talk about a big win, and we move on that little bit more closer to the playoffs. But obviously, from myself, Jamie, and Paul, thank you everyone for listening and watching our drunken ramblings. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, podcast, whatever the other things are that's going on. And we will see you next week in the post-game show. Thank you very much, everyone.
See you later.